All right, we're here at my outdoor worm bin, and this is kind of an exciting check-in because it is the 100th feeding of this worm bin. It has been 1,075 days since we started this worm bin, and they're gonna get a special treat. But last time we were in here, we had a little issue with ants, and I taught you what I do to try and prevent ants from coming in and what I do to get them out. And then we also did an experiment with some cranberries. We had some mashed cranberries on this side, and we had some overripe cranberries on the other side. And one of the properties of cranberries is that they take a long time and they might have some antimicrobial properties to them. So we're going to see if the mash goes first or if the whole cranberries, it's their skin that's preventing the worms from getting them. But let's go ahead and review what we fed besides that, because the cranberries went down first, then we put a paper towel, and then we put some shredded cardboard on. But then we put some lettuce stalks, some banana peels, an apple core. We put an avocado shell with some celery, cucumber peels, and strawberries to one side. So we might run into that first or not, because it has been 24 days since we fed last, and I'm hoping to get better in the new year. That's one of my resolutions, is to get into this bin more often and not wait 3 weeks like it's been. And as I'm kind of peeling up, it's pretty cold in here. I mean, I'm in Florida, so cold to me is like in the 60s, but lots of worms right here, and I'm guessing that's probably the avocado that we put in. So here we go. Let's flip it over. Oh, yeah, sure enough. We got a little avocado worm ball. They love to party in there, and they certainly gather. Now, I don't see any of the cucumber peels, strawberry, or celery we put in there. Maybe that right there, maybe some skin or something. But for the most part, they took care of business, so good job. I'll let them stay in there for now, and then let's keep going deeper because I want to get to that cranberry mash. We also put a lot of amendments to include coffee, so I am running into a little bit of the coffee grounds. And there we go. I'm starting to feel something over here, maybe. I'm going to dig underneath, and maybe that will help me. And this side was the whole cranberries, and sure enough, check it out. We have a lot of whole cranberries. And let me see, the ones that are still here, they definitely have their skins intact. In fact, if I were to squeeze them, yep, this little bit of juice coming out of this one right here, and certainly this one, but the worms are inside there. I see little worms in there. So let's go to the other side and see if the mash is there. And if the mash is there, then we'll know, hey, yeah, cranberries certainly are one of the longest term foods, and perhaps they do have some antimicrobial properties that affect a worm bin. And digging in, oh, look at that. A lot of the color is gone. And this is completely upside down from when I put it in. Here's the paper towel that we put in. And I would say, wow, I think really all that's left is kind of the skin. All the red part is out, so that to me kind of means that they ate what was in there. And even right here, I can see the cranberry seeds. I don't know if we're going to be able to get that on video, but right there, those two things right there are cranberry seeds. So I'm thinking the problem with cranberries is mostly the skin. In fact, look at this. This right here is intact, and it also kind of lost its color. So again, kind of strange to me. But yeah, wow. I hate when experiments aren't like totally conclusive and I can draw all kinds of conclusions from them. But I'm thinking that had those berries over here all been kind of mashed, then most of them would be gone. So no doubt that cranberries take longer, but I think a lot of it has to do with the skins themselves. They are pretty tough. So let's keep digging in and mix whatever we have, and maybe I'll be able to kind of smash some of these cranberries themselves. But the worms are all throughout. If you hear any fireworks going on, it is New Year's Eve. It is just after sunset, and people are already firing off fireworks. So I apologize if you hear any of that. So here's something I'm noticing as I'm kind of digging in. The worms are definitely a little bit slower than I typically see them when I'm in my bins, and I think that is the temperature that we're feeling. Everything feels fantastic, like the moisture, that kind of thing is really good. So it is, like I said, December 31st. So if you have an outdoor bin, now might be the time for you to bring it indoors, even if you're in the South. Now this one stays out the entire time. We may get a freeze once or twice a year, and I just bring it into the garage. But I know AV over at his channel, he has an outdoor bin and he's debating whether or not to bring it in or not. So let's keep digging around and kind of mix everything up. I did not harvest, so we still have lots of castings, and we'll add some more bedding to get this thing really going. All right, so we'll put our little avocado right there in the middle. Always like to line kind of the bottom with some more bedding, and then we'll put some food on top. And because the temperatures are dipping, we're going to go ahead and give them a pretty good feeding concentrated in the middle. And it looks like it is consisting of a lot of bananas. Now, bananas in general, the peels are kind of a long-term food, so we expect this to be around for a little bit. We are going to go on a trip. We just got back from Brazil, and we're just going to head up to the mountains. So we'll be gone for a little bit, but this should help to keep things warm while we're gone. And then here is their surprise for their 100th feeding. This is some shrimp shells and fairly large shrimp here. We're going to put these in here. Now, this bin is made out of a fabric pot. These are two 20-gallon fabric pots, and I had been using them for plants for probably a couple years before it became a worm bin, and it's been a worm bin for about 3 years. So one of the things I did was I froze the shrimp shells in here and I didn't thaw them out. So they are stuck. I think what I'll have to do is probably thaw them out and then add the rest in. But this bin has been super durable. In fact, I have totally taken everything out of it twice. I just did it recently about a month ago and inspected all the sides. All the seams are doing well. So if you're thinking about starting an outdoor worm bin, I highly suggest making them out of fabric pots. So next we'll go in with some worm chow and I'll try and spread it all throughout for them. And this is just expired grains from my pantry. It's just another way for me to get rid of some of that stuff that I wasn't going to use anyway and get some nutrients into the worm bin. And then we'll put in some more coffee grounds. You can probably tell I like to have my coffee grounds a little bit thicker. I like a light roast and thicker coffee grounds. So it takes the worms just a little bit longer than if I really pulverize the heck out of my coffee grounds. And the coffee grounds are another food source for them. And this is eggshells, just pulverized in my Magic Bullet blender. And they use the ground up eggshells in their gizzard to break down the food. And if you're interested in any of my worm equipment that I use, go ahead and check out the description of any of my videos and the pinned comment, and you'll see Amazon affiliate links for all the stuff that I have. If you want to check out prices or what kind of equipment I use. And then finally, because it's a birthday of sorts for them with their 100th feeding, we're going to give them some Wriggle Brew, and that is just going to add some of the microbes that the Wiggle Brew folks have into my bin and help to digest this food and make it ready for the worms to eat. Obviously, it is made for plants. It does a fantastic job for growing your garden and as a rescue for some of the pest problems that you may have. But those same microbes that they grow within worm castings are going to be great for my worm bins. So let's top them off with some more bedding here. And this is just cardboard boxes that I shred with my shredder. It's a 12-sheet cross-cut micro shredder, and it gets the pieces super small. So one more dump of that, and then we are going to kind of bury it up with castings and everything from the sides. And because I put in a lot of dry stuff in here, we're going to go ahead and just take from my rain barrel and add some water straight into here. And within that rain barrel, I have mosquito dunks, and those mosquito dunks prevent mosquitoes, but they also help to prevent fruit flies and gnats. So if you have fruit flies and gnats anywhere near your worm bins, if you use mosquito dunk solution water, after those initial flies die off, you won't get any more because it interrupts the life cycle of the larvae. So we'll add some more bedding on top for good measure, and just a little bit more right there. So I hope you're having a great day. I hope your worm bins are doing fantastic. So happy vermicomposting, everybody. Take care now. Boy, did I make a mess right here. Jeez.